Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Dashy has revealed the one player that he does not want to get on the wrong side of for the upcoming season and says that if players like Scrappy continue to come at the Bulldog, they have what's coming to them. Can KiSMET and HyDra on that Subliners team be as good as they were in a very impressive Modern Warfare 2 season with all the other teams around them theoretically upgrading? Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, just wanted to quickly note, we don't have anything yet on Seattle in terms of confirming their roster. We're pretty sure that it's going to be Arcetes, Illy, aBeZy, and Hook, but we still don't have anything confirmed, so that could change. And of course, there's been some names thrown around, the likes of Clay and Attach and Temp and Standy and Nero and others, with regard to the remaining teams: Los Angeles Guerrillas, Vegas, and now the Carolina Royal Ravens. Let me get that right. So still a lot to happen here potentially, and Seattle Surge need to get things sorted, or maybe they don't have to because they don't have to worry about other teams taking those players away because those other teams are not moving particularly quickly, shall we say. Now, I wanted to mention this as well. I thought it was a crazy stat really from Jacob Hell yesterday. Now, like, is this true? I don't know. It's a study, so you can obviously debate the merits of whether the survey is valid or not, but they believe that 25% of esports followers in the UK watch Call of Duty, which actually makes it the most popular esport in the country, just ahead of CSGO. This really doesn't massively surprise me. COD is massive in the UK, but I thought this is relevant because we used to have, until about a couple of weeks ago, a Call of Duty team in the UK. I mean, here's Zero, London Royal Ravens, and I know that many COD fans in the UK were, really supportive of London in the early days. Certainly I was in MW19. Cold War was a bit different because it was all online and it wasn't quite the same. Vanguard, I had a lot of support for that early team with Zero and Nasty and Gizmo and Afro, and they were really good. And then there's some roster drama, they fell off a little bit, but I think that the feeling around London from UK fans has somewhat waned over the last couple of years. Look back to the days of, let's say, pre-CDL, Red Reserve, Splice, especially teams like Reciprocity, got massive support here in the UK, and I think it's just, frankly, embarrassing that London as an organisation fails to capitalise on this market. I know there was some further talk about it because Adam Adamu says here from Toronto, not surprised by this, the UK fans have been very supportive. What happened is not Royal Ravens' fault. I'm like, hang on, how does this check out, right? Because at the end of the day, if London or the organisation owning London can't capitalise and actually make it work in the UK market and they feel like moving to Carolina is better for them, then they've just bottled it as far as I'm concerned. And it is a shame for the region, no doubt, and for the future of COD, but as I say, I think in the next 18 months things are going to change a lot with regard to the CDL, and there is this COD event next weekend in London, which has now officially been sold out, the World Series of Warzone Finals, which, it's going to be a UK crowd, there's going to be booze, it's going to be a good time, I'm sure. Will it be the same as, like, London 2019? Maybe not, but it's Warzone. At the end of the day, it's not exactly going to be quite on the competitive level that we used to have in Black Ops 4. We'll see. Should be a good time. Quickly wanted to note this from Mark Rubin, who actually gave an update on the future of XDefiant. Basically says the game will launch between mid-September, which is basically now, and mid-October. So, I imagine it's more likely to be towards the end of this kind of date range. They've got to get some things finalized. They might have to drop a day one patch. We'll see what happens. But XDefiant will launch eventually, far later I think than they would have liked it to, and frankly it's going to be a tough time. If you launch the game mid-October, pretty much as the Call of Duty beta is going on, people play XDefiant between the COD beta and, the launch of the COD game, and then after 3 weeks, your game kind of dies because everyone switches to play COD. This is the tricky thing that XDefiant have. I think they, their idea is good, trying to make a game that feels like what COD used to be, and as that COD has kind of regressed away from over the coming years, or over the last few years. I think that's certainly valid, but the execution I don't think has been as good as people were hoping for, and I think there's also the question as to, will they be able to support some sort of professional league? Because the game is probably going to launch with a ranked mode, or at least very soon after launch, I would imagine. Like, they're going to try and fix the errors that COD has made over the last few years. But if there's not, you know, with Ubisoft and all this, are they going to be able to put on a proper professional league? Is it possible that players who are maybe in the upper echelons of challenges or whatever decide, you know what, let me go and play the XDefiant League instead? Only if there's some sort of money involved, and that's only going to happen if the game's actually mildly or very successful. So it seems a little bit doubtful at the moment, but I guess time will only tell on that one. But yeah, every day that it doesn't come out, it becomes less likely this game is a success, which is pretty unfortunate, because another game to compete successfully maybe with COD would be nice, but beating COD in its own game is a very challenging thing to accomplish. Now, Dashy was talking on stream a lot over the last few days about current teammates, future teammates, and potential opposition for the upcoming season. We know that looking into the rosters that are being formed for next year, there's 4 that are theoretically going to be very good. The OpTic team, surely this OpTic team can't fail, considering the players and the talent they're stacking on their roster, but also the other factors in play as well. I mean, look, OpTic, any team could always flop and fall short, apart from maybe the FaZe team, which feels almost guaranteed that they're going to be at least pretty good. But outside of that, Dashy's given his thoughts on certain players, especially the Bulldog, or of course KiSMET, otherwise known as the Bulldog, and the issues that you face when you trash talk KiSMET. And it happened very famously really at the World Championship this year with the Scrappy versus KiSMET thing. That did not end well. So Dashy has, you know, matured, he's learned his lesson, and he knows that this season, if you're going to trash talk anyone, KiSMET is not the man to do it to. So I'll show what Dashy has to say. You know, you've got to listen to the Dashy speak here, right? And the amount of bros that are said, whatever. But, you know, I can't change that. You just got to listen to it as is.
Every time I see the, like, there's nothing but great, it's nothing but positive and great, like, it's just nothing but positive energy, bro. What's up, kids? Who do y'all play, bro? Oh, you got that, bro. What? They with you, bro. Doesn't matter, bro. Good luck, bro. Bang. End of the convo. Sometimes you gotta kill them with kindness, bro. It's like Jordan, bro. And Kobe, bro. You don't talk to bro. They get insane amount of dope from the shit talk. Kiz falls into that category. You shit talk him, he's 5-0 you in Grand Finals of Champs. He's running you down post-ace, shooting your body for an entire fuck. He's telling his teammate not to defuse, even though he already has Deddy, just to make a statement. And he's shitting on you the remainder of the series, bro. Listen, let's pay attention, stream, next year to who's the moron. Because everyone's just talking shit, bro. Probably, like, I don't know, who's like a Scrap. He's a suspect, bro. Like, he just loves talking shit. I hope my boy knows that the Bulldog is gonna bite back, bro. I stay away from that, bro. Stay away from that guy. And if you see him and you're in a combo with him, you treat him with the respect, bro.
So congratulations to making it through the Dashy talk there. Like, this guy speaks another language entirely. It's actually kind of incredible. But if you guys aren't familiar with the story, during the World Championship, Scrappy had they'd taken down New York, hadn't they, before New York then made it back in the Grand Finals. And, you know, basically Scrappy had said, oh, you know, they're not even that good. It's only HyDra that's good. The rest of the team is terrible, or something like this anyway. And KiSMET, having heard that, said, I'm going to smoke him. It's just disrespectful. And KiSMET is an interesting one, because I know people were talking about, like, well, as Dashy said, he's all bite or whatever, he's going to come back and bite you, but, you know, KiSMET doesn't really bark unless someone barks at him, you know what I mean? Like, then Kiz will fire back and then he'll smoke them in the game. Like, he's got that dog in him, there's no doubt. Gonna smoke him, it's just disrespectful. I like the idea of barking, having your own thing, but singling people out's the worst thing you can do. I'm gonna make them pay for it. And then, of course, we saw what happened the very next day when, you know, KiSMET in-game was saying, I'm gonna end his career, bro, or I'm gonna end this guy's career, this is my trophy, and they 5-0 smoked him in the Grand Finals in something we might not ever see again, really, in the CDL. Just complete dominance from the New York Subliners, and Scrappy had to eat his words to some degree, as the entire Subliners team destroyed his roster going into the World Championship Grand Finals. Now, look, Scrap will bounce back. Is Scrap going to stop talking trash? Absolutely no doubt about it, right? This guy's going to keep being the same character that he was, and that's absolutely fine. But Dashy knows full well that if there's one guy not to say anything to, it's probably KiSMET of the New York Subliners. Now, the thing is, though, is this roster going to be as good as it was last season? They won, Subliners, 3 of the 6 events last year. That's pretty much unprecedented. Okay, it happens. People win half or slightly more than half of the event, as FaZe did back in the Cold War season. But, and to be fair, Dallas in Modern Warfare 19 won a fair bit as well. But to do what they did last season was very impressive. One major one, won the final 2 events, including champs. But all the other teams around them now have got theoretically a bit better. Toronto, Envoy instead of Hixie, FaZe. Okay, I think Sasha is very good, but I do think their team makes a bit more sense with Drazah, just the way the roles work. OpTic, I think, have improved quite considerably. So, and there's other teams as well. Boston, even Thieves could be pretty good. We'll see how the rest of the teams play out. And Subliners have also tried to respond by making their own change. Simp comes in for Priestahh, and I can see the upsides. I can see some risk involved as well. What are your guys' expectations here, right? Do you think that Subliners can be as good? Because it's very rare that a team, especially the same roster that just wins champs, does well the next season. Okay, it happened this year with LA Thieves for the first time they actually won an event, but they still weren't that good this year in MW2 despite winning the World Championship in Vanguard, and Subliners have kind of preempted the champs curse by just making a change already. Is it going to be enough? I don't know. Of these 4 teams, the team that I'm I would say is most likely to struggle, at least early on, I would say would probably be New York out of these 4, but it's obviously tough to say at the moment. But I think Dashy is definitely hitting the nail on the head to some degree, and I think it shows some level of maturity from Dashy as well, that, that he's developing over time, and maybe that's going to help him in some way or another actually win more championships than he has done so far, and more championships that his level of talent likely deserves. Now, a couple of things to mention before we close out here. Accuracy is confirmed now to the Rocker, and he joins an exclusive list of players who played in 10 plus different competitive seasons, which is kind of crazy, but here's a list of most of them. I believe that also Mad Cat should be on here. I believe he mentioned in the replies that from Black Ops 1 all the way through to MW19, Mad Cat competed, legendary European player, so that I guess counts for him as well. But these are some of the names at least: Clay, Scump, JCat, Methods, Eggs, Crim, Apathy, Slasher, Attach, and Accuracy. So this is pretty much your list. There's also 2 other possibilities as well. If Bantz continues on a team this season, that will be his 10th year, which is, absolute veteran level. And also Havok. This would also be his 10th season competing, which is crazy because I remember clips of this guy way back in the Advanced Warfare days. I guess we're talking like 2014, aren't we? So yeah, we're pretty much on the 10-year level at this point, and he was making a name for himself back then and is still potentially going to compete to this day, Havok. And I did mention Havok the other day just because his stream is absolutely popping off lately and doing really well, which is, Havok's been content creating for years. I used to remember like the Black Ops 3 challenge he would do, a 1v1 challenge in Black Ops 3 that, be really good fun to watch. So it's good to see Havok's killing it, but also his YouTube channel, I didn't even really notice this, but I saw some discussion about it and went to find out about this. Took this screenshot yesterday, so probably even more views by now. But his most popular videos, pretty much all of them have been made in the last month or so. He's really blowing up on YouTube at the moment. It's fantastic to see, especially for a player that's, he's not an OpTic. He is a veteran, really. I mean, he's been around doing this for years, but still, the fact that Havok, after all these years of making content, is finally seeing all this success is great to see. And he's got a fantastic personality, Havok, but also I think it just shows to other players it really can be done if you take your content creation journey seriously and build a career for yourself outside of just competing, which is absolutely necessary. And it's good that Havok realizes that, and hopefully other players in a similar position will realize the same thing. But very much enjoyed to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.